Hi, I'm Georg from Yes No Debate, and I want to show you how this debating format can help you to better understand your disagreements and how to reach double cruxes. So let's assume you believe that you should take the COVID vaccine. Well, then ideally you would have a decision tree behind this. So for instance, you would believe many people die from COVID. From that follows COVID is dangerous. And you also believe few people die from the vaccine. From that follows the vaccine is safe. And from those two follows I should take the vaccine. This is a very, very simplified decision tree. Maybe yours is much more complex. I'm just making the point that there should be a tree at all. Now, let's assume you meet someone who believes something else. They say, I should not take the COVID vaccine. Well, then you should be aware that you can't know what their decision tree is. You simply don't know, and therefore you shouldn't simply start out arguing out of the blue. Instead, you should find out their decision tree. You also should find out your decision tree because often you believe something, but you actually don't really know why. And then once you know both decision trees, you should find the difference between them. So you could then look for differing edges. So for instance, you don't share the conclusion that for many people that from COVID is dangerous, or you wouldn't share the conclusion from few people die from the vaccine is safe. And you would also look for differing notes. So these would be the facts. Maybe someone just doesn't believe that few people die from the vaccine. And then if you find these differences, then you would look deeper again. So you'd, for instance, if you would find out you differ at few people die from the vaccine, well, then this again has a decision tree. Like you believe that, the other person doesn't believe it. Well, then you have to dig deeper and find out where is the difference in that is the decision tree behind that. And if you look at this maybe looks familiar because this is double crux. This is a technique from the rationalist community to find out where a disagreement actually lays, and it's a well formulated goal, what you should reach in a discussion. What the problem still is how you actually do it. And I believe you should ask questions. Why? Well, because if instead you would just start arguing about your favorite facts and conclusions, you can't know if those are the facts and conclusions where the other person already agrees with you. So it would be a waste of time to argue that few people die from the vaccine if this is something the other person already believes and they're just not sold on some different point. Instead, by asking questions, you can find out where these differences actually are, and it saves you a lot of time and nerves. And even more specific, you should ask yes-no questions. Why? Because first, they are easier to answer, mostly, and also they are easier to check if they were answered, because you just need to look for a yes and a no. And this is where the yes-no debate comes in, because it is a format with easy to follow rules that help you to find these double cruxes. Now you may ask, hang on, questions can be loaded. There can be false premises. For instance, you might know the famous, have you stopped beating your wife? Because either if you answer yes or you answer no, in both cases you would admit that you have done it, you have beaten your wife, which maybe isn't true. But no worries, we got you covered, because in the yes-no debate there is not only yes and no, there is also depends, false premise, and I don't know. To look deeper in these rules, like what happens after which answers, just go on yesnodebate.org. There will be also another video covering how exactly a process looks like following these rules. So what can you do now? You can join the debates. There is a subreddit. In the subreddit, there are already many subredditors subscribed, so you can simply post your claim, and then the people will challenge you in their comments with their yes-no questions. You can also run a yes-no debate on Twitter. Simply reach out to this Twitter handle and we will coordinate it. And there is also a website including a newsletter. So to stay in touch, simply go on the website at your email address or follow the RSS feed. Also, I can give you my workshop for your audience where we would practice the format by running example debates with the participants. And also you can join the team. So you could maybe have improvement ideas for the format and you can join with your experience in campaigning, networking, and grant writing. So if you are interested, then please reach out at georg@yesnodebate.org.